In recent years, France has been plagued by riots, poverty, and lawlessness, igniting a growing sentiment for the country's exit from the European Union. As the consequences of EU policies continue to unfold, the calls for FREXIT have started to gain momentum. Hello and welcome to TFI Global, the foreign affairs and geopolitical analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Vedika. Let's begin. Once regarded as a pillar of European leadership, Angela Merkel's immigration policy has actually contributed to unrest in France. The nation finds itself grappling with a multitude of issues, fueling a growing discontent and frustration that has given rise to calls for Frexit. Advocates argue that France has lost its power and independence within the European Union, and it's time to reclaim control over its own destiny. In conversations with those participating in the anti-EU rallies, the sentiment is clear. Disillusionment with the current state of France, labeling Paris as garbage and the entire country as a huge garbage. The European Union's influence on immigration policies is a contentious issue. Arresting and repatriating migrants is prohibited by EU regulations enforced by the European Court of Justice, affecting not only France but all Western countries. They drew comparisons to the previous currency, the franc, highlighting perceived negative effects of adopting the euro. Parisians firmly believe that EU policies have crippled France, reducing it to a state of decay. The rally aimed to draw parallels with the Brexit movement in the United Kingdom and advocated for France to follow suit. The protesters voiced their opposition to the European Union and NATO, emphasizing their desire for France to regain its independence and decision-making powers. According to them, being part of the European Union restricts France's ability to act and hampers its potential. All this is specifically gaining momentum after the recent riots on French streets. The riots, triggered by the tragic shooting of a 17-year-old boy, led to widespread unrest and protests across the country. The unrest stemmed from grievances among marginalized immigrant communities feeling trapped and discriminated against. The chaos unfolding in France is a consequence of their own actions, as the very migrants welcomed into the country are now causing havoc. These events signify a broader shift in Europe, with growing anti-migration sentiments and a shift towards conservatism. Europe is on the cusp of a transnational era that will reshape the continent in the coming decades. The Frexit campaign is gaining ground in France as the country's population hunger for change, and the country is at a crossroads. The riots, poverty, and lawlessness that are present in the country are considered as signs of a dysfunctional system, and EU policies have done more to exacerbate the problems than to address them. Frexit is being demanded as a last-ditch effort by France to regain its independence. It reflects the growing realization that the European Union, once seen as a beacon of unity and progress, has become a burden for France, a burden that the country is increasingly eager to shed in pursuit of a brighter and more independent future.